There's a lot of things that you can do to make sure when you're working from home, your computer networks are still secure. One of the most important things to do is to recognize that just because you're working from home doesn't mean policies and procedures should be suspended. In fact, you really should have a work from home policy that outlines what your expectations of your employees are so that they know what they can do and what they can't do. We have a policy that we've been giving away for free to people who ask us for it. So if you need one, you can ask us about that. Strong passwords are even more important if you're accessing different parts of your environment when you're outside of the office. It's really difficult to remember strong passwords, and it's really difficult if you have a change cycle that requires you to change them all the time. People are always struggling with that, and when your IT department maybe isn't right there for you to ask to help you out with that, it gets even worse. But strong passwords are easier to remember if you use a passphrase, or if you use something like a password vault like LastPass or something like that, so that you can make a strong password but you can remember it. And a passphrase is, possibly the name of the Netflix show that you're enjoying the most right now, something that has a number of different words in it, but where you maybe swap out the vowels for numbers, where you put in symbols at certain locations so that you can intersperse them in there, but you can remember where you intersperse them. It's important to use multi-factor authentication to access the various tools that you use. If you're using cloud tools like Dropbox, Office 365, etc., use multi-factor authentication. That is using something that you know, your password, but something that you have, your cell phone. With maybe you get an SMS message, or even better, maybe you use Google Authenticator or Authy or one of those other tools, so that when you are accessing, if your password does get compromised, they still would need something. They would have to have something, your cell phone, in order to be able to access that resource. The endpoint. You're working on various endpoints when you're at home. Hopefully it's a corporate device, a laptop, or maybe you've had to take home a desktop, but maybe it's your own device. It's still very important that there be antivirus running on that device. And it should be centrally managed antivirus so that your IT department can look at your antivirus on all of the devices on the network and see if it's running, see if it's been updated, and so on and so forth. There's been lots of talk about herd immunity. When you're in the office, you have antivirus herd immunity, if you like, because everybody's looking after, or your IT department is looking after all of the equipment in your office. When you're at home and on your home network, however, that herd immunity may not exist anymore. Your kids may be working on computers that aren't patched up, don't have antivirus on them, etc., or your partners, your roommates, whoever you have there may not be looking after their computers the same way that you look after your computer. And therefore, it's really important that your computer be as strongly protected as possible. It would be good to run endpoint threat detection and response on your computer. You can get endpoint detection and response that is a tool like Carbon Black or CrowdStrike or something like that. What it does is it watches what's going on your computer, and if your computer starts doing something that it's not supposed to be doing, it will isolate your computer and allow you to remediate it before that gets out of control. So if a ransomware attack kicks off on your computer, it will shut it down into that. We use an extra level on that, where we have our endpoint detection and response being monitored by a security operations center. That means there are actual eyes on glass that are watching for activities that are not normal going on computers and reporting that to us, locking it down, allowing us to clean those up. Again, if you want some advice on that, please feel free to reach out to us and we will talk about that. The endpoint is one of the weakest links, and the end user is definitely one of the biggest vectors for attacks inside of a company's network. So endpoint training, cybersecurity training is very important. Teaching people about phishing and how to recognize phishing when it's happening, how to recognize other social engineering type activities when they are happening, how to understand when something that shouldn't be happening on your computer is happening on it, and how to report that to your IT team so that they can fix it, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Cybersecurity training, there's good training online that's available. There's centrally managed training that you can roll out for your team so that you can track and make sure that everybody's getting the training, that they're doing quizzes to see if they're actually understanding it, and allowing you to remediate if there's something missing in their understanding. All of these things put together help to secure the environment, that secure your network so that it is controlled and it is safe during this emergency while everyone's working from home. And frankly, if you enhance your security now, that'll hold you in good stead when this emergency is over and when you have people moving back to the office. Basically, these are just good policies that should always be in place. If you have any questions, or if you would like a free half-hour phone conversation where we can walk through how things are going on your network and see if there's ways that you need to improve your security, feel free to reach out to us at Horn IT. Our phone number is 416-421-1085. Extension 3 will take you through to sales, or you can email us at info@horn-it.com.